I know I'm looking a bit radiant, but please don't take that to mean I'm pregnant right now, okay? Can we start with that?
That's good. Nor am I.
That's good. There you go. We're two non-pregnant people, which is a nice start to this debate. What are you making of this then? Because when I saw the headline, I knew instantly at some point today I'll be talking about it on the radio and TV.
Yeah, well, it is quite absurd. It's another example of, the extremes of, in the inclusion, the ideology to be inclusive. And as far as medicine is concerned, this is just one small area that is affected by it. It stems from the NHS changing the requirement to record your sex marker on your records, and now it records gender. The result of that is that cannot be trusted. Gender cannot be trusted as an identifier for sex. Now, they've changed my record from sex to gender, and that can be trusted. But many people want to identify as different gender and have been allowed to change their sex markers. So in 2017, the legislators for radiographers changed their guidance and removed the word female from any pregnancy and breastfeeding legislation. They replaced it with, and this is particularly insulting, people who have pregnancy potential or breastfeeding potential. Now, that means when a man, and it's lovely when these things involve men, because men get irate and they get angry and they see what it is that we're arguing when they are then confronted, as they are now. So a woman who comes in who's been taking testosterone may look like a man. Their gender is on their NHS records, but actually what they have to do is find out their sex. Could they be pregnant? If they're in this age group, could they be pregnant? And so it's another way of saying, what sex are you? Could you be pregnant? Now, an easy remedy is, of course, to change the sex markers back to sex on your records, with an extra one saying, do you identify as, or...
But that upsets another group of people, right?
It upsets a very small group of people, but we're talking about huge numbers. I am very, very concerned that everybody has the chance to get the right medical attention and the correct medical attention. I'm particularly concerned for women that are taking testosterone and find themselves in this situation. A lot of them do think that taking testosterone means that they can't then get pregnant, which is wrong, which is incorrect. But some have been led to believe that would preclude them from getting pregnant. So are they then likely, if they think they can get pregnant, are they going to answer that question, could you be pregnant? Are they going to answer that yes or no? If they think that taking testosterone means that they can. So we're not actually solving the problem. What is the problem and what is the right solution for it? And I think that we've created a huge problem by changing sex markers on NHS records to gender. Things don't change. Your sex doesn't change, and you experience a number of different medical complaints. You'll require different treatment depending on whether you are male or female. It is fundamental to the care that you get.
And it's very simple, as you say, to address this. It doesn't require much. I mean, if they want, somebody to chip in for the cost of printing some new forms, I might even be willing to help. It's that easy to sort this one out. It's really not difficult. But of course, the broader point, the deeper, more offensive point, is that it is just another example of authority, establishments, corporations, very casually, without so much as a debate, of just erasing the word woman or female out of the equation here. I mean, it's just extraordinary that this gets a free pass.
They are, and this is a perfect example. Hopefully, Wes Streeting, who's already made some indications that he's sympathetic, may get to grips with this. This is a very fundamental, basic thing. You've got, for instance, if you think you've got a blood type, and your blood type doesn't change. Now, are you asked when you go to the hospital what your blood type is? No, you're not. Yeah. When I go to the dentist, I get a little form that says, this is for the records we have on you. Is this still correct? That's about the medication I'm taking or other things. So there are a number of different ways. There's a small minority that think that it is offensive to ask people their birth sex. We need to move away from that idea.
So what? I mean, I don't want to be unkind, Heather, but so what?
So what?
If you ask somebody their birth sex, what's wrong with that? I mean, there's nothing.
Well, I entirely agree.
I know.
You're ashamed of.
But somebody, I said this earlier to a previous guest, these ideas come up not organically. Somebody sits there in a meeting and suggests this stuff when what you've just said is completely sensible. No one with a brain could disagree with it. It's so easy to do.
Somebody on a very high salary is sitting in a meeting suggesting.
Correct. Yeah.
I like that, and I think it would be really nice to know how much money is spent on this in terms of coming up with changing these policies and where the idea is coming from. But they're obviously not tested because society has come to learn that, this is the new way, this is the way forward, this is what everybody's thinking now. And it's not. It's clearly not. We've seen examples of men being insulted and walking out and leaving. And why am I being asked this? I've heard the stories from people I know myself. Yep. And you then got to factor in, where is the concern for people that have cognitive impairment or people who perhaps are unconscious? How are you going to determine? You're going to, somebody that is unconscious, you're going to determine it by eyesight, aren't you? You're going to, this is what I know to be. So that's why for anybody, men or women, it's really important that the NHS knows what sex you are.
Yeah, and that should not be controversial. We shouldn't even be talking about this, really, Heather. It would be, as much as it's been great to have you on, I would much prefer to live in a world where we don't have to have this conversation because it's so bonkers.
I did, and I would go on, referring to your previous conversation, I would go on a march any day for the rights of women and for, single sex safeguards.
Correct.
Any day. You can keep your jeans.
Yeah, and I've been with you every step of the way as well. Heather, thank you for your time. Really appreciate that. Heather Binning, founder of Women's Rights Network.